Hi everyone, welcome back into another video. Another common question I get asked all the time is about the helmets, some of which you'll see are up on my wall, some are in a cabinet, and a couple I've got down here next to me. Common questions about the helmets, let's get straight into it. So before we start having a look at them, and I'm showing you some of my favourites, a little bit of a history about the Arai lids and their history with the TT and the TMs and how that's all gone in the past. So when it was the centenary TT in 2007, Arai brought out these limited edition versions of their helmet. And at the time, their top of the range sort of racing helmet was the RX-7 GP. And that came in numerous colours and you could have it painted up however you wanted, and loads of the racers were using them, and to this day, Arai is still a very, very popular choice. But they decided to do a collaboration with the TT to do like a limited edition each year, different design. And 2007 was the start of that with this one. I remember when that first came out, it was such a rare thing to see, like a limited edition thing tied into the TT like that, and everyone went crazy for it. Looking back on it now, I'm not really that keen on that design at all. But at the time, you know, it was the first one, they're dead popular, and if you ever see them for sale now, they go for a lot of money because they were the first one, they were the original. And so yeah, in terms of value, they're one of the most valuable ones you can get. Obviously one of the older ones are two now, so you know they've just standing the test of time, and how many of them are left around, haven't been worn, and things like that. So yeah, 2007 was the first one. And part of this partnership that they had with the TT was that they were going to supply them to the traveller marshals. And obviously you'll see pictures of any of the TMs, like past or present, going back to 2007. It's nearly 20 years ago now, crazy. And we've all got the limited edition Arais. There's a few exceptions to that, of which I was one of them, and it goes to do with the time at which you actually come into the role as a TM. Well, I've spoken about this on the old channel a few times about how I became a TM and the year it happened. So it was 2016 for me, and it was between TT and Grand Prix. I'll not drag the whole story out again, but the quick version of it is that in 2016, I wasn't racing. I was having a year off, deciding what to do. I was moving house and a few things, and it just wasn't a good time. So I was having a year off, just enjoying watching the racing, watching the TT, and watching my mates compete at the Grand Prix that year. Well, that was the plan. But after the TT, the TMs were a couple short, there was a retirement, and one of the guys was injured and couldn't do the Grand Prix. So I was asked if I would fill in for the Grand Prix in 2016, and I hadn't shown any real previous interest in the role. It was just a case of, you know, it's so hard to get somebody to fit the criteria you need for something, especially at such short notice. So obviously I was local and I know the track, and I wasn't racing, and I could get through all the procedures you needed to go through in order to get signed off as a TM pretty quick. So I only had about 6 weeks to do it. And I said, yeah, okay, I'll fill in and let's have a go. Someone said to me, you know, if you ever get a chance at that role, say yes. It might not be for you, but it's better to say yes and give it a shot and see if you enjoy it than just turn it down on the chance that you might not, and then you'll never know. So yeah, jumped at it, and lo and behold, I'm still here somehow. So yeah, I can't believe how quick that time's gone. Anyway, let's get into it. So 2016, I got sort of fast-tracked through, got all my stuff, RST, sent all the leathers and the jackets and all the gear and stuff. But the helmets, they come at TT for all the TMs. They're pre-ordered way before, like we're pre-ordering 2026 helmets now, like sending through all our sizes and who needs what. So it's done well in advance. And so there wasn't an allocation for me. Fortunately, I just decided in 2015 to start using Arais as my race helmets. So I had a plain white RX-7 GP that had only done the Grand Prix in 2015, less than a year old, good to go. So if you see any pictures of me from Manx Grand Prix 2016, you'll see me buzzing around with a plain white helmet on, which is a bit unusual. So 2016 finished, and we got on to 2017. Allocation goes in for your helmets, dead excited. First limited edition TT Arai on its way, and sign on for TT. And the first one we got was the 2017 version, which was this. And obviously getting your hands on your first limited edition TT Arai is just amazing. Now, the only slight regret I've got with this helmet is that when Arai do them, they also make up a little sticker to go here that also says Arai TT helmet, and it puts the year on 2017, and I haven't got the sticker for this one. And I spoke to the guys at Arai to see if they had any, you know, in back stock from 2017, and they haven't been able to find any. If anybody's got the stickers that go on the corner of this visor, send me a message, because I'll definitely pay you more than what you paid for them, because you would have got them for free, to make my collection complete, because all my other ones have got them on, and this is the only one that doesn't. But yeah, this is the first one that I got. This is my first limited edition TT Arai, and yeah, it's nice. It's nice. And let's make a bit of a list of my favorites. So obviously, first one you've seen, obviously goes straight to the top to start with, doesn't it? Now I do have the 2016 lid. Obviously, like I said, I didn't get given one of these, but either the back end of 2017 or early 2018, somebody put one of these up for sale on eBay, and it was actually a guy in Laxey. I was just like, I'll have that. It completes my collection from my start in 2016 all the way through to now. And it's the right size, it was medium, so all my helmets are medium, and you know, it would have been a bit odd if one of them wasn't. So yeah, I've got that. I've never actually worn it, but it's in the collection, it's on the shelf, and yeah, just a little bit of my own personal sort of OCD, wanted to have the complete set, even though I didn't actually get one that year. But yeah, that's the 2016 lid, which also pretty nice. So each one of these helmets, they have, like, when I see them, it brings back memories of that year. It brings back a certain feeling or memory, or it just triggers something in you. Just that helmet, you can just fixate it to a point in time almost of what sort of happened that year. And that brings us around to 2018. And there's two things from 2018. Firstly, when we first picked up this lid, how bright and colourful it was compared to the 2017 one, and how vibrant it was and lovely. And there are those stickers that I'm talking about. That'll focus. So I need a 2017 one. But yeah, two memories from this really. First off, that amazing weather. 2018, the weather was so good. So every time I think about wearing this, it was hot and it was sunny and it was bright. But what sticks in my mind from 2018 is the year we lost Dan. The year we lost Dan Neen, and that's the overriding memory from that year. And every time I see this helmet, it kind of reminds me of it a bit. Not in a bad way, just nice to think of Dan anyway. And we've all got a Dan Neen sticker on the back. We had them on for the end of the year. And yeah, 2018 lid, very, very powerful memories with this one. But a design I really like. I really, really like this one. And keep my Dan Neen sticker on forever. So that's 2018. So we're all around to 2019, and another limited edition Arai on its way, and definitely one of my favorites this. I've spoken about this before, and I just love the colours. And it's the only design we've got which is matte. Now, they did do another matte one 2012, 13 maybe. So it's not the first time they've done matte colours, but oh, it's so nice. I love that. And obviously it matches our jackets, doesn't it? But I don't think video does it justice. I think you need to see them in the flesh. But I'm a massive, massive fan of this. And it almost looks like the stickers are from the 2017 lid, doesn't it? Because it's got the silver on it, but they are 2019. And yeah, that's probably my favourite design of them all so far. I just really, really like it. It's not too leery. It's not too busy. Hasn't got too many colours in. For me, I really, really like that. Still probably my favourite. Let's put that straight to the top. So we roll around to 2020, and you know where this is going, don't you? 2020, the year that never was, as well as 2021. And, oh God, there's so much to say about that year without anything actually happening, but it was such a, it was a devastating year for everyone involved in, well, any kind of sport really, the way things went with COVID. But I remember finding out about it because I was meant to be getting married in 2020, and we'd organised stag trip. We were off to the Alps for our annual ski holiday in March. And the week before, 2 weeks before, the whole COVID thing was picking up a lot of pace and things were starting to get a little bit hairy, but I'm going on this trip. There's no stopping us. And a few people pulled out last minute. I'm not getting too far into it, but we ended up getting to the Alps on Saturday night and getting a phone call to the chalet we were staying in Saturday night saying you need to get out of the country by Monday. So everything went to shut down. We got 1 day skiing. We got back to the airport on the Monday, and there was an announcement on Manx Radio, whatever it was, TT's cancelled. So I'm getting kicked out of my ski trip. TT's been knocked on the head. The whole world's ending. An absolute nightmare. And I suppose we weren't really thinking about our TT Arais, but like I was saying before, they get put into production, designed, signed off, and made up way before TT and way before COVID was going to be an issue to interrupt TT. So they were commissioned, and obviously we had an order in, but there was no TT. So why do you need them? But through the TT and things, we spoke with Arai, and we came up with a deal, and we bought them at a discount. They give us a nice discount on them. We still had to buy them, pay for them, but if you wanted one, you got one. And so it's the only one I've got. It's never been worn, like at all, by anybody. It's still got brand new visor on. I may have just slipped it on my head just to check it fits, and it does, but I've never ever worn it out. It's still got all the stickers on the back, you know, all the brand new stuff, and these are rare. A friend of mine really wanted one because he loves the colour scheme, and he was asking if I knew anybody who had one, and I said they do pop up occasionally. They do pop up, but along with the 2007 one, probably the most valuable one in the collection because it was the TT that never was. And it's a lovely design, and it's a bit smoky. Like if you look at the Arai badges, are sort of smoked out on it a little bit, and yeah, it's a little bit, yeah. I think with the dark visor on, that, you know, these look really nice. I've got no intention of wearing it. I think it'd be nice to keep this one as one that's never ever been worn. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see in the future. But yeah, 2020, the TT that never was, but the Arais do exist, and we all got one. So thanks, Arai, for that. And through to 2021, another TT that never happened, and they never commissioned a helmet for it. I'm sure they put some designs in place to see what was going to happen, but it got knocked on the head so early that was it. It was over. And distant memory now, thinking we went 2 years without a TT and 3 years between, you know, 2019 and 2022. 3-year gap with no riding. I just don't know where that time went. That's gone. Hopefully distant memory, and hopefully something we never have to go through again, as I'm sure we all hope. So on to 2022, and another Arai has been announced, and here it is. And quite a nice one. The only slight thing I had at the time was it was red and black again after we had the 2018 one, and I thought we could have gone a little bit different on the colours. But they still look great, don't they? It's like, you know, you're picking apart something that's just is really nice. When I think of this one and I see it in the cabinet, see my mark on the front here? I nearly put my head through the screen at Balacry. Bike just kicked on me in a funny way, and I was up on the pegs as you take that jump. Actually, I got a picture. I think you can see the mark on the helmet. So it happened a couple of days before this, but you can see how it can sometimes come up on you there, and it just, the top of the big screen just caught me. But really, when I think of these helmets, I think of those at the time, new Fireblades, and they were such a step forward from the 2019 bike that we last rode. This next generation of electronics and things, and all of the gizmos that went with it, that I'm massively keen on. And yeah, so when I think about those big bikes, because they were quite a big bike. And yeah, when I think of these, I think of that bike, and that's the memory, the everlasting memory that sticks to me from these. But yeah, it's a nice lid. I don't think it's going to go to the top, but let's just slot it in where I think it should slot in. So into 2023, and here's the next one. Flies on this. I think you use this dropping my bike off at the end of the year this year. It's just the one that was closest to me, so I grabbed it. So I need to give this one a bit of a clean before she goes back in the cabinet. But yeah, similar to 2022, but they put a bit of yellow in it. So obviously a bit of our TM yellow, which we always like. But a similar design to 2022, and they seem to do this a little bit. They have a design or a color scheme that they like, and they use it, and then they go for something similar the year after, and then it all changes again for the year after that. I prefer this though to the previous one. Just I was saying before, I liked the 2019 one because it wasn't too busy, but I like the fact they put some extra color in this, some yellow, instead of it just being black, red, and white. And so this goes just above it for me. So right now we're looking at 2019, 2018, 2020, and I'm going to go 2023, slot that in next. Then 22, 2016, and 2017. That brings us into the last couple of years where we've got the 2024 and 2025 lids. Again, like I said, we have this change of design and color scheme. It went to a completely new one, and then these two are quite similar. So we've got the 2020, almost picked up the wrong one then. We've got the 2024 with the new blue, orange, and white scheme, sort of new TT colors, if you like. And this was 40th anniversary of Arai's partnership with the TT, and you've got that on the limited edition stickers here. 40th anniversary, I don't know if you can see that just there. But these, I really like these colours. I think they look great. Now, obviously, they don't always suit what we ride because depending on what bikes we're on, the colours aren't always correct, if you like. And sometimes you think they might clash with our jackets. But I don't really care about stuff like that. As a standalone piece of design, I think that's really, really nice. And then we saw the 2025 version, and it was like, spot the difference almost. They are different. There's more white in it, less of the sort of dark blues and the purples. And initially, I'm so bad for this. I say bad for it. Whenever the new one comes out, I'm like, I prefer that one because it's new, like a child. But after living with them both for a year or a couple of years and having them both around, I think the 24 one, I do prefer. I prefer the sort of darker colours in it than this one. I don't know what you guys think, but yeah, for me, that one just beats it. Doesn't beat the 2019 one. It's never going to. But they're going to go together. They're going to go between the 2020 and the 2018. Let's slot them in. So they're my 9 TT helmets that I've got. And yeah, I've been a TM for 10 years, but there was 2 years with no TT. And one of them got a helmet, one we didn't. So yeah, I've got 9 limited edition Arais. No intention of getting any of the others. The only one that I really, really like is the one that's a little bit sort of Joey Dunlop-esque, that yellow one. I think it was 2013-ish, this one. If I was to get one that I don't have already, it'll be that one. But stepping slightly outside of the TT thing, Arai do some other limited edition helmets. Well, they do loads, don't they? Especially when you're looking at MotoGP and BSB and things. But there was a couple I wanted and a couple that I got. And the first one's the HRC one. Like, that's a really, really nice lid. And obviously, you know, my affiliation with Honda, and I'll often be riding a Honda around. It's got a little bit of that sort of classic RC30-ish sort of colour scheme to it, but just a sort of general HRC colour scheme. Really, really nice. Need to get back out on one of my Hondas really and use that. But that's one of my other ones that I put into the collection, and I really like it. And then my last one is in a box, and it's been out the box. It's just that I made sure it was all okay, and I put it back in the box to keep it safe. And really, I'm never going to wear this. This is basically bought because it's a limited edition one that Arai did. I'm a huge fan of this person, and it should really be in here next to that thing, shouldn't it? You know what this is. It's funny this, I have not seen this helmet for ages, and I feel like I'm unboxing it again for the first time. And it is proper exciting every year you get your Arai and you get to unbox it, because you've seen the designs, but they're never quite the same. So you see them in the flesh, and you get the bag out and you open the bag and you see it. Opening the bag up, you know what's coming out, don't you? Look at that. You know what? I haven't seen this for a couple of years, and God, they're nice, aren't they? I love the yellow helmet. Obviously because of Joey, but I just think in general, they just look so good. Yeah, I forgot how nice that is. It really needs to be on display, not in that box. Obviously got it medium. Again, it's still got all of the new stuff on it, never been worn. You see them pop up occasionally for sale on eBay, and they go for really good money, especially when they're brand new. And they all came with limited edition certificate signed by Linda with a serial number on it. I've got number 81. It's just ace, isn't it? It's timeless, it's classic, and it's Joey Dunlop. You know, I know Michael surpassed him now, but Joey's still the greatest. It's just nostalgia, isn't it? But yeah, so nice. Obviously, it's absolutely brand spanking new clean as well. What a lid. What a guy. That pretty much wraps up the helmets. It's just one that, it's just a bit of a silly one really, but loads of people ask me about them all the time. They want to know, you know, do we get them? Do we get to keep them? How many have you got? What's your favorite? And then people love to tell you about the ones they've got as well, but that one's going to go straight to the top of my list. Harsh putting anything at the bottom because they're all really, really nice, but you've got to have a favorite. And my favorite's obviously the Joey one, followed by my 2019. And down at the bottom is actually the first one I got, 2017. For no other reason that it's just a bit bland compared to the others. But yeah, a little bit of history about the helmets. That's my collection. These are my favorites. A few of the extra ones I've got. Hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one. Before I go, I've had a preview. They showed me a preview of the 2026 one and it's absolutely mint. Again, like I said, the helmets tend to run in these sort of patterns of two similar sort of styles and then they change. We've just had two similar. This one's a massive change. It's like none of these. It's completely different. Like it's not even close to any of them. And if I described it to you, which I'm not going to, you'd think, don't know about that with those colors, but it looks mint. I saw the mock-up of it at TT this year and it looks great. So yeah, as soon as that's announced, we'll be having a look at it. Thanks again. See you in the next one.